since their tiny office was 3 blocks away. 2 county SUVs appeared within a minute, and Henry greeted Tessa and Bruce, his nurse's fiancé. Tessa and Bruce circled the property as she directed Bruce where to take photos. When they were ready to go in, Tessa slowly opened the back door and announced herself. She and Bruce entered with their weapons ready as Henry calmly leaned against the hood of his vehicle. If the druggie was still in there, he had to be sound asleep to not hear all the noise the 3 of them had made outside. "Come on in, Doc," Tessa called after a minute. "It looks pretty good in here." Henry walked through the office and had to agree. Cabinet doors were open, but the insides were neat. Bruce and Tessa tailed him on his tour. He stopped in the doorway to his second exam room. "Damn it!" Glass from the broken entry window covered the floor. "At least that seems to be the only damage," Tessa pointed out. "Is anything missing? Drugs? Equipment?" He told her about his encounter with the drug seeker from the day before. "The only drugs here are available over the counter. I haven't noticed that anything is missing yet." Bruce spoke up. "I'm surprised he didn't take your computer equipment or anything else he could sell for quick money." "Me too," said Henry. He checked in his lab, a small room with a microscope, monitor, and some other portable equipment that would have been easy to walk away with. Again, the storage cabinet doors were open, but nothing was out of place. His gaze shot to an empty spot on a low shelf, and his heart stopped. Shit. The tub of bones was gone. An hour later, Henry still felt like an incompetent idiot. He'd crossed the drug seeker off his list of suspects. Why would he steal bones and not the equipment? Now his suspect list was completely blank. Tessa had called Cate, who now stood with her hands on her hips, clenching her jaw in irritation as she glared at the empty shelf. "We had just looked at them," she mumbled. Henry said nothing. He'd fucked up. Cate looked at Tessa. Chain of evidence was intact. Leaving the bones for the coroner for delivery to the lab wasn't wrong. "I agree," said Tessa. "If the county had stored them, they'd still be gone if that was the thief's primary goal. Our evidence shed is locked with a chain and pathetic padlock." She looked at Bruce. "I'm assigning you a project. Figure out an upgraded evidence storage system for our office. We've been lucky for too long. I'll get the funding from the sheriff." "I'm on it," the deputy replied. He'd covered areas of the office with black fingerprint powder, and Henry had watched in fascination as the young man twirled the feathery brush. The tons of smeared fingerprints on the cupboards weren't encouraging, but Bruce had seemed pleased with some prints he'd found on large pieces of the broken window. "I should have locked up the bones. They were evidence," Henry said. "This is on me." Bruce won't be the only person looking for secure storage. And an alarm system. "What's done is done. Locking your cabinet wouldn't have made a difference," said Cate briskly. "This brings the entire investigation to a halt," complained Tessa. "We've got to find those bones so we can have them identified. I'll get the fingerprints entered as quickly as possible and hope we can track down our thief." Henry looked at Cate, sending a question with his eyes. She gave a small nod. "Maybe it's not a complete halt," said Henry. "I did a comparison between Samantha Bishop's and Becca Conan's films with the teeth. I'm pretty certain the bones belong to Becca." Tessa stared at him, hope in her eyes. "How certain?" 99%. He pictured the small incisors on Becca's films. The skull had the exact same anomaly. The skull in Becca's films had pegged lateral incisors, or microdontia. "I looked up the right term last night," he told Cate. "It's not a rare occurrence, but it is unusual enough, along with some other things I noticed, to make a tentative identification." He glanced over at Tessa. She still wasn't convinced. "I can't go to Rex Conan with that," she said. "I agree," said Cate. "And I don't think we should tell him the bones are gone just yet. He's not expecting an identification until the ferry can get the bones to the mainland. We've got a window of time to hunt them down." "Before everyone knows I screwed up," said Henry. "My reputation here is shot." "I won't let that happen." Cate said forcefully. At the same time, Tessa declared,